Hello and welcome. Today we're diving deep into one of the most incredible stories ever told, our own. We're journeying back in time to uncover the origins of anatomically modern humans, or Homo sapiens as we know ourselves. It's a tale of survival, migration, and evolution that spans hundreds of thousands of years and covers the entire globe. So where does our story begin? Not where you might think. Our human lineage, the hominins, diverged from our closest living relatives, chimpanzees and bonobos, a staggering 6 to 8 million years ago. Imagine that millions of years of gradual changes, adaptations, and evolutionary twists and turns. This vast timescale saw the rise and fall of many different hominin species, like the famous Australopithecus afarensis, better known as Lucy, and the tool-making Homo habilis. Each species played a part in the grand saga, adapting to changing environments, developing new skills, and paving the way for what would eventually become us. This long, winding road of evolution wasn't a straight line. It was more like a branching tree, with many different hominin species coexisting at various points in time. Think of species like Homo erectus, who were the first to control fire and venture out of Africa, or the Neanderthals, our close cousins who thrived in Ice Age Europe. All of these groups were part of our extended family tree. But our direct story, the story of anatomically modern humans, begins much more recently. The stage is set in Africa, the cradle of humankind. The latest fossil and genetic evidence points to our species emerging there around 300,000 years ago. That's a huge number, but it's just a fraction of the total 8 million year hominin journey. Let's explore what that emergence actually means. It wasn't like one day a modern human just appeared. It was a gradual process where traits we associate with ourselves, a high, rounded skull, a flat face, a prominent chin, became common in a population. The earliest fossils that we classify as anatomically modern human were found in a place called Jebel Irhoud in Morocco. Dated to around 315,000 years ago, these remains shook up our understanding of human origins. They showed that the key features of our species were developing across Africa, not just in one specific region like East Africa, which was previously thought to be the primary location. These early humans weren't exactly like us. They were more robust with slightly more primitive features, but they clearly belong on our branch of the family tree. They represent the dawn of Homo sapiens. For the next couple of 100,000 years, our ancestors lived and evolved within Africa. They developed more complex tools, created symbolic art, and adapted to diverse environments from lush savannas to dense forests. They were becoming more and more like us in both their anatomy and their behavior. But the most dramatic chapter of our story was yet to come, the great expansion out of Africa. While there might have been earlier, smaller migrations, the major successful push that populated the rest of the world seems to have happened around 70,000 years ago. Why then? The exact reasons are still debated by scientists. It could have been due to climate change, population pressure, or new technological or social innovations that gave our ancestors an edge. Whatever the trigger, a relatively small group of modern humans ventured out of Africa, likely crossing from the Horn of Africa into the Arabian Peninsula. And from this small group of pioneers, nearly all non-African people today are descended. This is a mind-blowing concept, backed up by extensive genetic analysis. By studying the DNA of people from all around the world, scientists can trace their ancestry back to this single migratory event. Once out of Africa, the spread of modern humans was surprisingly rapid. Think about the world 70,000 years ago. It was a world already inhabited by other hominin species, like the Neanderthals in Europe and Asia and the mysterious Denisovans in Asia. Our ancestors didn't enter an empty world. They met, and we now know through genetic evidence, interbred with these other groups. Many people of European and Asian descent today carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA in their genomes. Similarly, some populations in Asia and Oceania have traces of Denisovan DNA. This tells us that the story of our expansion wasn't just one of replacement, but also of interaction and assimilation. It's a complex, interwoven history, not a simple conquest. Following the coastlines of the Indian Ocean, these early explorers pushed eastward. The journey was epic. The fossil record and archaeological sites show that modern humans had spread across Asia with incredible speed. They reached what we now call Australia by at least 50,000 years ago, and possibly even earlier, around 65,000 years ago. Getting to Australia was no small feat. It required crossing open water, a testament to the ingenuity and capabilities of these early people. They must have built some form of boats or rafts to make the journey, a monumental achievement for the time. Once there, they adapted to a completely new continent with unique flora and fauna, and their presence had a profound impact on the landscape. They became the ancestors of today's Aboriginal Australians, representing one of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth. Meanwhile, other groups of modern humans were moving northward and westward, into the heart of Asia and towards Europe. They encountered vast steppes, towering mountain ranges, and cold, harsh climates. Europe was the stronghold of the Neanderthals, who had lived there for hundreds of thousands of years and were well adapted to the cold. The arrival of modern humans, starting around 45,000 years ago, marked the beginning of a period of coexistence that lasted for several thousand years. Eventually, the Neanderthals disappeared, and modern humans became the sole hominin species in Europe. The reasons for the Neanderthals' extinction are complex and still hotly debated. It was likely a combination of factors, including climate change, competition for resources, and perhaps even diseases brought by the newcomers. The artistic explosion of the Upper Paleolithic, with stunning cave paintings like those at Chauvet and Lascaux, signals the firm establishment of our species' unique cognitive and symbolic abilities. The final frontiers for this great human expansion were the Americas. For a long time, the dominant theory was that people first entered the Americas around 13,000 years ago, crossing a land bridge called Beringia that connected Siberia and Alaska during the last ice age. These people, known as the Clovis culture, were thought to be the first inhabitants. However, recent discoveries have pushed this date back significantly. Archaeological sites in North and South America now suggest that humans were present on the continents as early as 20,000 or even 30,000 years ago. How and when they arrived is still a major area of research. They may have traveled down the Pacific coast by boat or through an ice-free corridor that opened up inland. What is certain is that once they arrived, they spread rapidly, populating 2 entire continents from the Arctic to the southern tip of South America in just a few thousand years. It's important to remember that even within the category of anatomically modern humans, there was variation. The earliest Homo sapiens are often described as robust. They had stronger brow ridges and more heavily built skeletons than people today. Over time, our species has become more gracile or lightly built. This is likely due to changes in diet, lifestyle, and technology. For example, the development of agriculture and cooking made our food softer and easier to process, reducing the need for powerful jaws and robust skulls. So, human evolution didn't stop 300,000 years ago. It's an ongoing process. We are still evolving today, adapting to our ever-changing environments, diets, and diseases. Our story is far from over. And the tools we use to piece together this incredible story are constantly improving. The field of ancient DNA has revolutionized our understanding of human evolution in just the last couple of decades. Scientists can now extract and analyze genetic material from fossils that are tens or even hundreds of thousands of years old. This allows us to build more detailed family trees, track migration routes, and even understand the genetic basis of adaptations to different environments. We can see how genes for things like skin pigmentation, metabolism, and immune response have evolved in different populations around the world. Every new fossil discovery and every new genetic analysis adds another piece to the puzzle, refining our knowledge and sometimes completely changing what we thought we knew. It's a dynamic and exciting field, and our picture of human origins is becoming clearer with each passing year. From a small population in Africa 300,000 years ago to nearly 8 billion people spread across every continent today, the journey of Homo sapiens is the ultimate story of resilience, innovation, and exploration. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through our deep past. The story of human evolution is complex, and we've only scratched the surface today. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into science and history. And let me know in the comments what part of our human story you find most amazing. Until next time, stay curious.